So it all kind of started in the spring. Like I was going for extra runs and training a lot, and no matter how hard I tried, I was always just increasingly getting worse and worse at training, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm just not fit enough or whatever. And then I went home in May, and I went to my usual doctor's checkup, and they told me, I just showed them my enlarged lymph node in my neck, and they were like, you better get that checked out. So then after doing like 5 different tests, it was confirmed that I had stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma. All the symptoms I had were there, but they're also symptoms of being a Division I athlete. So like being fatigued, thirsty, just all the above. Each one I could name out as just being part of being an athlete, and didn't think twice of it. So it actually took a few weeks to get the results back. Like I kept getting like results back, but like it wasn't definite until like a month later. So I had time to kind of process it and just kind of prepare myself for it. But then, the confirmed diagnosis was on a month later on June 8th. And as soon as I heard it, I was just like, all right, let's do this. Like, I have no choice but to go through the treatment, and I'm just going to be positive. And it didn't really, I think my family was more scared than I was in a weird way.
What was the whole treatment process like?
It was pretty horrible. So for Hodgkin's lymphoma, each cancer has a different treatment, whether it's chemotherapy or radiation. I did 12 rounds of chemotherapy, so every 2 weeks, on a 2-week cycle, so throughout 6 months I did it. And you just literally, they inject you for 3 hours. You just sit there and let them put it in you, and people always ask me to describe it, but I can't really, like, I hope that nobody ever has to go through it, but it's just, you just sit there and, like, it's awkward because, like, the nurse is sitting there with her goggles on, double up gloves, while she's injecting you. I was like, why are you doing that? And she's like, oh, because I can't get it on me. And I'm like, oh, and that's exactly the same thing that's being, like, pumped into your body, so. And then after chemo, you're just tired and fatigued. Because with lymphoma, it's like your immune system. So they have to break down your immune system while you're doing it. So for the whole time, I had absolutely no immune system, so I was like basically quarantined inside. And yeah, they just, every 2 weeks, so I'd say after a week I started feeling somewhat normal. Like I could go out for walks and stuff, but, and then you're feeling like decent, like okay in relative terms. And then you're just knocked down again after 2 weeks. So it's just 6 months straight of just being tired and feeling gross. Well, after my second treatment, actually, I just looked at my mom and I was like, how am I gonna do this? Like, this is insane. 10 more of these. And then she was like, you're gonna do it. So I had no choice, really. Yeah, definitely. My family's been amazing through it. Just so supportive. And then obviously with the launch of Project 19, that's kind of, on those days when I said, I'm not gonna be able to do this, I'd just look at the tweets I was getting, all the support, like the things that they did on the soccer field, the football games, the basketball arena, like all those things. I just like look back and be like, all right, I got this. I was like overwhelmed. I was like, because being at the cancer ward, you see all the different people, and I almost felt guilty at some point because I have a very curable cancer, but there's people in there that weren't as fortunate as me, and they'd be sitting there and not even have someone to bring them to chemo, or like not even be able to get a ride home. And I was just like, holy, I have like the whole Trojan Nation behind me, and there's a person sitting here in like twice as worse of a situation as me, and they don't have any support. So I was just so lucky and blessed to have everyone. I had a friend who had bone cancer, and he told me that he was never going to be able to play sports again. And I was just like, wow, like I'm lucky. Like I'm going to get through this, and then I'm going to be able to play soccer again. So that was also kind of a motivating factor that always like kept me going, to know that next fall I was going to be on the field again, and I was going to be back in Troy.